Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, May the 26th. This is the Made in Paradise podcast. I'm John Clark, along with my host, Darin and Anthony Ferguson. And we're in the business of doing big deals with our company called Proven Performer. At the end of this video, we're going to talk about some big deals, some really fantastic big deals. But right now, we're going to talk about life because that's what we talk about every day. And I'm going to tell a story about my mentor, Brooks. Now, my mentor was a charismatic pastor. And so he had taken on a church assignment in our local hometown, Sulphur, Louisiana. And it was pretty common that he would come and sit in my office. And one day he came to sit in my office, and I'd be on the phone or dealing with employees or whatever else in the business. And he'd just sit there. And then when there was a break, he would make a comment. Well, Brooks was a person that I ate lunch with him at least a couple of times a week, and we always were out together doing something or looking at something. And people would come up to him constantly because he was a pastor, and they would say, "Hey, will you pray for me? Will you pray for me about this? Will you pray for me about this?" And Brooks was the kind of person that if you ask him to pray for you, he's going to stop right there in that moment and pray for you. And in the scripture, one of the things that it talks about in the healing power that was available is the laying on of hands. And Anthony, you and I have talked about this, where two or more are gathered in my name, there I am in their midst. They can ask anything they want, be assured that they have it. And so the laying on of hands is a biblical process where people put hands on someone who needs to be healed and pray for that person's healing by agreeing together in their healing. And so Brooks was a person that did that, and he was known that if you got Brooks to pray for you, you'd get an answer. Now, remember that whenever there's a healing, the healing is actually done inside you. So the people praying for you aren't doing the healing. You do it in yourself, believing in the prayer that they're praying for you, right? We remember that from Jesus telling people, your faith made you well. Not my power, not God's power. Your faith made you well. And so Brooks had been a person that always was laying hands on people and praying for their wellness. And so we would be out someplace and someone would ask him to pray, and he would be happy to pray for them. But one day he's sitting in my office, and I hung up the phone, and he looks over at me and he says, "I have decided to stop laying hands on people. I'm not going to do that anymore." And I was very shocked. I was like, "What? Why would you not do that anymore?" And he says, "Because people get confused that I somehow have some healing power and I do not." He said, "All the power to heal them is in them, because it's their faith that makes them well. So what they do is they project it over on me and say, well, Brooks's prayer did something for me, and that's not what's happening, and I don't want to take that credit from God." And I said, "So so Pastor Brooks, what are you going to do instead?" He said, "I'm just going to give him one finger." And of course, I made a joke about, well, which finger you're going to give him. He said, "No." He said, "What I'm going to do is when someone asks me to pray for them, I'm going to say, I'm just going to put one finger on whatever it is, right? And I'm just going to touch it. But I'm going to be clear that the power is not in me, that it's in God." And so we went through some time where I saw him do this with other people or do it with me or whatever. And it seemed a little awkward, to tell you the truth. It seemed awkward. So
you mean
that's
the finger.
all.
You mean the finger.
You just reach out. It was like someone would say, "Brooks, my shoulder's really, really hurting." And he said, "Well, just take my finger and put it where it hurts. And I'm gonna call on the Lord for you right now. But I want you to know the reason I only put one finger is because you need to have faith in God to heal you." And he would say that, right? And so my brother was a police officer. Brooks was the chaplain for the sheriff's department, the police department, for 17 years. I worked in law enforcement and local law enforcement for 5 years. At this time, I had a computer store, and I was still doing some work for law enforcement. But a story happened. A family, now Sulphur, Louisiana is on 10. A family was traveling down I-10, and they stopped in our town. And they pulled into the main shopping center. It was like a strip mall. They pulled in the main shopping center in front of one of the main grocery stores, because the grandma in this family, so you got the husband and wife, you got the wife's mother, and you have the kids, and they're all traveling together in a car. The wife's mother starts to complain that she's having some chest pain and she doesn't feel good. They pull off the interstate into this strip mall. And when they pull into the strip mall, and they get out of the car, and they're trying to deal with grandma, and grandma dies in the parking lot at the strip mall. She dies. They call an ambulance. They call the police. Well, just happened to the police, when they call them, the police are just right across the street. So the police lieutenant and another police officer pull into the parking lot, go over to grandma, check her pulse multiple times. Both police officers check her pulse. She's gone, right? She's gone. But the ambulance is on the way. Before the ambulance gets there, Brooks and the officer is he with heard the call. They show up before the ambulance. And when Brooks gets out of the car, he speaks to the police lieutenant and he says, are we sure she's dead? And the lieutenant says, Brooks, I've checked her. He names his other officers as she's checked her. The family's checked her. And the wife is the daughter, right? The daughter of the grandmother. She's hysterical. She's hysterical and she's crying. The kids are crying. Everybody's upset, right? And grandma is over in the car, laid over in the seat, dead. And so Brooks walks over to the car and he said, in that moment, John, he said, God said to me, she's got a little bit more time to live. So go ahead and stick your finger out there and pray, and I'm going to bring her back to life. So he sticks his finger over there and he touches grandma on the shoulder and he said, God said you have more time to live. And grandma, in front of Brooks and the lieutenant and the other officer and everything, goes, let's see. Now, you say, okay, well, she wasn't dead. They didn't check her right. Go on for whatever you want to say about it. Brooks tells me the story and I'm laughing and I say, you're just messing with me, right? This is not true. I don't believe it. He goes, call the lieutenant. Now, the lieutenant, not a Christian, not a religious person, not a spiritual person, constantly made fun of Brooks's spirituality and mine too, if I was around him, in a playful way, but the kind of guy that he doesn't believe in anything, right? He doesn't believe in anything supernatural, whatever. And I asked him, and when I face to face, I didn't call him. I went and asked him, and when I looked in his face, he turned white, telling me the story. He said, I don't know what happened. He goes, I'm absolutely sure I checked her. He said, I watched the other officer checked her. I watched Brooks checked her. We all three agreed she was dead. He said, but I stood behind Brooks and I watched him put his finger out and I heard what he said and I saw her gasp for air. So that's the story of the power of a single finger. Questions?
See, of course.
Yes.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Wait. Okay, go ahead. All right.
Okay. Did Brooks after that have a line of people waiting for him? Did he ever have that, that kind of following?
He always had people coming up to us in public. They come up to us at the Chinese restaurant. They come up to us in Walmart or whatever and say, Brooks, my son this, my aunt this, my grandmother this, will you please pray? And he would stop right in the middle of the aisle and he would pray for them. The other thing that he would do is he didn't close his eyes when he prayed, and he wouldn't let you close your eyes either. If we're going to pray, he'd say, why are you closing your eyes? He said, God does something during that time. You won't see it. Don't close your eyes. Look right here. We're asking God to do something right here. Keep your eyes open. Look at each other. We're agreeing together. Why are we closing our eyes?
And what about this?
Makes
If
sense.
it's something inside, right? You want to heal something. Can't you see that, right? I mean, you can't see that. So you can close your eyes, right? I'm just saying. but wait a minute. He said that Brooks, he decided to put the finger just to make people aware that the power is in them, right? Not in Brooks.
Right.
But
the lightest touch. That is the lightest touch possible.
Right. But literally, he had the power, right?
No.
Because the lady.
The power is always in you. All he has the power. All he has the. Then how did she come back to life? Maybe it was for somebody else standing there. Maybe it's for the daughter. Maybe it's for the police lieutenant. Maybe it's for somebody else. Right?
It's the series of events, though. The series of events just makes you think, though, that by him touching, because, prior to that, it was after the fact that he put his finger on her shoulder that she came back. And so that, if you tell that story to anybody else, they'd be like, well, he's got some sort of power. He's got some sort of...
But we know from near-death experiences, thousands of near-death experiences, that people die and their soul is right outside their body watching everything that goes on. and can decide to come back into their body or leave.
Oh.
But the power is never in that person. Jesus, when the woman is hemorrhaging, and the scripture says that the woman who had been hemorrhaging her whole life knew that if she touched the hem of Jesus's garment, that she would be healed. Right. She knew.
She spent all her savings, right, to get healed, right? Remember that?
We were talking about the story in the Bible. You mean of the lady?
That's right. But
the Bible says Jesus said, "Power went out from me."
Right.
Well, the power went through him. He's saying the power went through me into her, but it was her faith that made her well.
Right.
Interesting. But I do have another question though. That lieutenant that was there, did he change faiths by chance after that experience?
No, not that I know of. Not that I know. But does anybody change like that?
I mean, after seeing something like that, that's seeing a miracle right in front of your eyes.
Right. And that's the thing. If you don't believe in miracles, you'll do everything in your power to say it's not a miracle. And so it doesn't change you, which is why saints say don't do miracles in front of people who don't believe in miracles.
Right.
All right.
Do you believe, one more question. So do you believe that if Brooks would be just Brooks and the lady, that would happen? I mean, like no one else would be around and he touched the lady and he prayed for her. You think that would happen?
Yeah, it would happen. It would have happened anyway.
Oh, it would happen anyway.
Yeah, it would happen. It would have still happened if nobody else had been around there.
I mean, because
it was her faith that made her well, right? It was her faith that made her well.
No. I'm talking about the story with Brooks, right? With the lady, with
right, but it was her faith that made her well, not him touching her that made her well. Her faith.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Anthony, what do you got for us today?
Let's talk about influencers. What about that?
All right.
If you're comfortable. So, do influencers really influence society in a positive way?
Most influencers do not. I mean, we've known, and Darin can speak to this, we've known some pretty big influencers that have come and sat at our table and talked to us, right? And they have as many or more problems as everybody else. And they're projecting this perfect image all the time. It's all the time. And that image usually says, here's my wealth, right? Here's my money. Because when we see women on Instagram, right, and the endless stream of sex, I don't know how else to say it, but the endless stream of selling sex, that is their wealth, right? And they're showing you that this is my wealth. Here it is. Look at my body. I mean, no, that's horrible. How many influencers are really good influencers? I don't know. 3%, 4%, 5%, giving you something as an influencer that you're actually going to be able to put in your life and it's going to be positive, right? But when you said that, I thought of like Dan Bilzerian.
So
anyway.
So do influencers inspire people or manipulate them?
Well, they inspire people to use money as their guru. They think that the money is the thing that brings the light in their life.
So why?
But of course, the scripture says, "When the light in you is darkness, how great is that darkness?"
Right.
It's like selling a false hope.
Right. Exactly. So why do people trust influencers more than experts sometimes? Because you can see that
exposure.
Often, right?
Exposure. You repeat a lie long enough, it solidifies into fact in your mind.
So, should influencers be responsible for what they promote?
Of course, but no one is. I mean, you want to get on the influencer, they should be responsible. What about Meta? Right? I mean, we got Meta now losing court cases over kids dying over their shit. Right? The social media, we deal with it every day, but it's like, it's a cesspool. There's nothing else to say about it besides that.
Yeah.
So you have responsibility. You're saying, well, the influencer needs responsibility. Those companies need to take responsibility. We're making a destructive product.
I also think that parents are a little bit of the issue as well. I mean, giving a kid an electronic at the age of whatever it is and giving them
completely,
full access.
Completely, utterly and completely. But what are you going to do when society is saying it's okay? Here's a phone, you're 3. We had a lady here working for us not too long ago, and she's got a baby, and I've watched the baby. I mean, I've known the baby since the baby was born, and the baby is now 3 years old, and she has unlimited access on a telephone at 3. And she's got a telephone, and she's just going at, well, what can I say? I go to the parent and say, you're destroying your kid's life. No, because they're not going to be able to hear that. And all society is doing, you go everywhere, and every kid's got a device, and it's destroying our society. I don't know how else to put it than that. The telephone and the access to information is literally destroying our last generations of people.
Right. Yeah. I saw a little kid a couple of weeks ago, and he was with 3 things in his hands: Coca-Cola, he had a lollipop, and the phone. And that was like 7 a.m.
This is a person that should not have had any children. If you're going to have children, you should have time to devote for them, or don't have them.
Agree. Agree. Right.
I mean, I'm not opposed to giving a kid electronics, but I think there should just be some heavy monitoring to it. Like when I was a kid, we got an hour of Xbox.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it either. If it's highly monitored and it's curated.
Right.
I mean, I grew up on electronics, but it wasn't what it is now. I mean, I had an Atari, and then I went to an Intellivision, and then I had a ColecoVision, and then here came an Apple II, and then I had a K-Pro. I was on electronics all the time, but it wasn't full of soft porn. It wasn't full of bad ideas that were telling me, immoral ideas that'll severely screw up my life. I mean, it was an electronic, and I was programming it and all these things. Yes, it can have a lot of positive influence. Right. It can be useful for education and all sorts of things, as so many things can be, but it has to be extremely highly monitored.
Okay, so in which way influencers are creating unrealistic lifestyle?
Well, the money. The money, right? The money and here's these girls, and look at all these girls, right? Look at all these beautiful girls I have, and look at this plane, and look at this car, and they've rented the car, and they've rented the plane, and they've rented the money, and they can't have a conversation with a girl if they wanted to. They don't know how to interact with a girl. It's all just plastic and fake. And because the thing is if you, and we know this because I deal with rich people every day of my life. When you're selling huge deals, 20, 30 containers, all of those people have a tremendous amount of money. They don't get on the internet and say, look at my money. The really rich people, they don't do that. They don't have any time for that. Don't want to do that. Don't want to tell anybody you have money. They don't have their wife out there with half naked on the internet.
Completely agree. So are influencers replacing traditional celebrities?
I don't think so. I think the thing is a lot of people said, I want to be an influencer, and then tried it and found out I can't influence anybody because I don't have anything to influence anybody about. Right. So I think that's peaked and maybe coming back down again, right?
Okay, so what makes someone influential today?
Well, everybody thinks the money solves their problems. I think that's the number one thing. If you look at somebody and say, well, this person has a bunch of money, they must know what to do. Right. And if that was the case, Hollywood would be just a whole bunch of marriage success stories. Instead, it's a story of disasters. Because you give a person money and you give them resources that are unlimited, and they don't know what to do with it because they never did the internal work that was necessary to know what to do.
Right.
Like the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case. That was wild.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, exactly. All right. It's almost their turn. You got anything else? One more. All right.
One more question. Will social media be healthier without influencers?
Would social media be healthy without influencers? Absolutely. If there was no financial incentive behind it, of course it would.
I think
the financial incentives, and this is, if you talk to any of those guys that do those documentaries about how bad social media is, the one thing they talk about is the incentive is wrong. Because it shows you something inflammatory, and then you look at that thing and you get mad, and then it just shows you more and more and more of those inflammatory things. right? I'm so careful what I stop on Instagram because I think, well, if I stop on
Me
it
too.
for 5 seconds, I'm about to get 20 more posts, and I'm really not interested in that subject.
Yeah. I always stop on them, and then I go, don't show this again to me, because I just completely remove it. I won't see it for probably a month after that.
Yeah. I mean, I probably need to try that, see how that works.
Yeah.
All right, Darin Fingleton, on this beautiful Tuesday morning, what do you have for the folks at home?
Well, John, I wanted to ask you a question. I mean, you've been in this business for 13 years, since you've been 13 years old. My bad.
43 years.
43 years. Since you've been 13, you've been selling closeout deals and doing all kinds of different things. Looking back across all of it, at what decade of your life do you think you performed your absolute best? Is it this decade?
Yeah, I think it's now, because when you're younger, you're just kind of grasping at everything. And I had a phone call right before we got on the podcast, and I was telling the person that had called me, it was a fresh lead that had called from the podcast, and I was explaining, we focus on big deals now, right? And if it's not a big deal, that's not what I want to focus on. So that's easy to push to the side. And you can't be everything to everybody. You need to specialize in this business, and so specialize in that. But I think I'm better now in my 50s. There was no way I would go back to being who I was in my 20s or 30s in business, right? The wisdom that I've gained is too valuable. So this decade is the decade that I think is the best one.
Was there a moment in your career where you felt like everything finally clicked? At what point did you say, I got it all? Or I feel like I'm a lot more equipped?
I think that happened about the time I was moving to Costa Rica. I had done so many things and sold so much stuff and had so many employees and so many warehouses and all of those things. And I was reevaluating what life was about, because I was living life for work and not living life for life. Now, work supports life instead of life being second to work.
Exactly. What did your 20s actually look like in business? What were you doing at that time?
You know the Tasmanian devil?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of how my 20s felt. Right. But I was, at that time, I was really a lot in the computer business. And if you know what was going on in the computer business, it was rocky. I mean, there were so many things going on. And a lot of what I did in the closeout was computers and electronics back then. But my 20s are just a blur. I was working 70, 80 hours a week during that time.
Wow. And so I know you say you don't want to go back to when you were 20 because you don't want to lose the wisdom that you got now. But let's say tomorrow you did wake up at the age of 20, but you still remember everything that you know now. What would you be doing with yourself? Would you be trying to go down a different career path? Would you just go right back into the liquidation business?
Okay, well, we're playing this fantasy. How much do I have resources? I have some resources.
You're 20 years old, so you can't have that much.
If I just tomorrow, I'm 20 years old, and I wake up and I remember everything, and I have some resources. I head straight to India to the ashram.
Straight to which ashram?
Well, I mean, when I was 20, if you back up 30 years, I'm not sure, but there would be plenty of them to go to. But I think I would probably go down a completely different life path, because I realize now that the thing that energizes me the most is teaching. And so if I couldn't go to the ashram, I would be a teacher. And I made that decision a long time ago. I realized when I was young, I got addicted to the money. I'm making more money than everybody else, and I can do whatever I want to do and whatever. And I'm not thinking about what's going to fulfill me inside. I'm thinking about, let's make some more money. Let's make some more money. Let's get some more power. Let's make some more money. But if I went back now, I would not go down the merchandise path. But you could say that this has been my dharma, or my life plan, to work both sides, because there's so many people in business that have heard a spiritual message from me that was non-religious that they would have never heard if I hadn't been in the closeout business.
I'm wondering, when are you going to share with us the interview you did at your first company? I'm wondering. I'm waiting for
the interview I did at my first company. What do you mean?
Remember, you shared with me that interview where I think it was the news interview.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that was my first company, but that was way back when. But I can share it on a future episode. That was when we were doing all the liquidation for Sears Craftsman, and at that time we were only selling about, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 truckloads a month. It wasn't very big, and then that blew up. All of a sudden, that bin went to 30 or 40 truckloads a month, and when that happened, well, you learn a lot, right? The business grow. But yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that on a future episode. What else, Darin? We're at the 26-minute mark.
I think that wraps up my segment. I did want to ask Anthony, what would you be doing if you were 20 years old, though, and you woke up tomorrow knowing everything that you know today?
Oh, definitely. I was doing some kind of Airbnb or something like that, because that's my dream. And now, since I get all the experience, all the knowledge from John, how to do things correctly, definitely I was working on my Airbnb. Definitely. What about you?
What would I be doing if I was 20? I think
he's still such a young pup, though, Anthony.
I'm still in my 20s. Haven't crossed that 30 mark yet, but I think I'd be doing something very similar. I think if I could go back, I'd save all the money that I earned when I was working, because I worked a ton when I was from 16 up. I got my real job, and even prior to that, I was doing construction. But I would have saved all that money to buy land, buy property to try to do something similar in that fashion.
In the U.S. or Costa Rica?
I mean, if I had to choose, if I was located here and I knew about this, I would have definitely done it here. Would have been cheaper at that time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Proven Performer crew, and we sell big deals, big closeout deals every day of the week. We sponsor the Made in Paradise podcast. I'm John Clark, along with my co-host, Anthony Ferguson, and Darin, Fantastic Fingleton. And today we're going to talk about some great deals that are still hanging around. The gas price has made some wonderful opportunities still available, so we're going to go through them here in rapid succession. All the details of these deals are available if you want to email us or WhatsApp us at the phone numbers that are on the banner below. And be sure, if you like any of our content, either the life stories we tell or the deals we talk about, be sure to like and subscribe. We sure would love to have you. First deal we're going to talk about today is some high-end chandeliers. We got a new video of this. I'm going to pop this up here, and we're going to look. We have 27,000 light fixtures, mostly chandeliers, Home Depot brands. This is good stuff. It's got a retail of at least $6 million, 27,000 units, could be as high as $9 million. You be the judge. It's fully manifested. Brand new light fixtures, mostly chandeliers. You can look there, MSRP $400, right? MSRP $229. 27,000 light fixtures. We think we can get it in less than 30 containers. This is $10 a light fixture. This is crazy cheap, crazy cheap. We have another video I'm going to show you here just for a moment. We won't watch the whole thing, but we've palletized these goods so that they're ready, and you can see here, walking past several hundred pallets and how big these light fixtures are. We'd be happy to send you these videos if you'd like to see them. Just email us or WhatsApp us at the numbers below. 27,000 light fixtures, mostly chandeliers, crazy retails, up around $250, $300, $400 average. About 30 truckloads, X-Works Houston, 100% brand new, $10 a light fixture, fully manifested. Please reach out so we can tell you about that deal. We've also been talking about 37 million square feet of landscape fabric, weed barrier, brand new from a canceled order. This product has got a national retailer's brand name on it. It has to be defaced if it's sold in the United States, but can be exported as is. We're not advertising the price of this product, but reach out to us and we'll tell you. Obviously, again, completely manifested, brand new in the boxes. This stuff is selling for less than the cost of the import duties and the freight. It's cheap. Reach out. We'd love to talk to you about this landscape barrier. Number 3 today is 92,000 two-packs of genuine Bic razors. 92,000 two-packs in the Bic case packs. These have a misprint on the case pack. It's very minor. The razors themselves are 100% brand new. These are X-Works Houston, asking price 39 cents a pack, take all, genuine Bic, 92,000 razors. We're going to wait here just for a second. Let's watch him open this case so we can look at it. It's got a misprint on the box. We're happy to send you all the details, show you that misprint.
It's just on the case pack box, though. It's not on the actual box.
Not on the packages. Over there you can go. You can see the packages inside. All nice and brand new and crisp. Bic razors, 92,000 2-packs at 39 cents a piece. Deal number 4 today, 600,000 feet of Turkish-made rugs. These are machine-made rugs. The artificial intelligence tells us that these cost between $3.50 and $4.50 a square foot to manufacture and import into the United States. Our asking price here is 75 cents a square foot. We're talking about at least 75, 80% off the manufactured and delivered cost of this product. In-person inspection is no problem. Super, super high quality rugs, completely assorted sizes, everything that you can imagine. They got them square, they got them round, they got them rectangle, whatever you need. 600,000 square feet. Happy to show it to you in person in Houston, Texas, 75 cents a square foot. Here's another deal that we're going to talk about from last week that we did not have details on. These are sandals from Kokomo Sole. They have a look that looks like a softball or a baseball on them. They are packed 50 in a case, 100% brand new, polybagged, as you can see, Kokomo Sole. These are $2 a pair. $2 a pair. We have a total of 7,300 pairs. X-Works, Texas, in Houston, 100% brand new and polybagged. Here we can just check out, we got a quick video of the case pack showing those. All the way down. Kokomo Sole sandals, 7,300 pair, X-Works Houston at $2 a pair. Deal number 6 is these Cozy Bliss blankets. Cozy Bliss blankets, we got a shot of them here. Cozy Bliss blankets sold on Amazon, $29.95 to $39.95. We have 35,000 of these units in 4 different styles in Houston, Texas, brand new in gift boxes. Do not have a UPC code. They have an ASIN code. 4 different styles. Cozy Bliss kids blankets. You can see here how they come gift packaged in a gift box, have an ASIN code. They're vacuum packed. You can see when you pull the vacuum pack off, has a nice gift ribbon around it that says Cozy Bliss. These blankets are $3 each. X-Works Houston, we are willing to divide the lot. Please reach out and tell us what you need. Cozy Bliss kids blankets, $3 a piece. And last for today, a deal that I'm surprised is still hanging around is black hoodies. Right before this deal came up, everybody was asking me for black hoodies for imprinting. These are really a $49.95 retail hoodie, exceptional quality. We have them in solid cotton and in blends. It's 6 containers total, a total of 92,000 units, X-Works, New Jersey. This is our deal. We own it. You're not going to find it anyplace else. It's $3 a piece. These black hoodies with a $49.95 retail. They are not cheap hoodies. This is good stuff, perfect for imprinting. $3 a piece, 92,000 pieces, X-Works, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, any of these deals that you see that you can't do without, you want some more details, reach out to us at the email addresses or the WhatsApp numbers below. We'll be happy to help you. This has been the Made in Paradise podcast. We are the crew of Proven Performer. We sell big closeouts. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow because we do this every day, Monday through Friday. So
every day.
Have a great day. We're going to see you soon. Ciao.
Ciao.